someone's a self-purported expert and they're micromanaging every little element of the account without any automation, they're probably not very good at this, or they're pretty new at it.
Yeah.
Or it's just they're driven by their own personal anxieties, and they
Yeah.
tend to over optimize the accounts, and they sort of just the accounts constantly going up and down because they can't let things ride. They can't get enough data to actually analyze, so they're just making really just knee-jerk decisions. And we see that all the time, right, Michael? We see this all the time with do-it-yourself business owners that are trying to learn every little thing about Google Ads. They're watching every YouTube video from Soul8 and everybody else. They're just constantly like, well, what about this shiny object? What about this strategy? What about this tactic? They think they're progressing in their knowledge base, but they're the owner of the company, or they're the chief marketing executive of the company. Why are you specializing so much in Google Ads as opposed to delegating that to people like you and me who are big nerds at this? This is what we do. This is our thing over the last decade. But anyway, that's my own tangent on that.
No,
but we do see that often.
We're having a conversation here, and mate, I agree with you, and I disagree with you. I agree with you because you're right. We don't need to be micromanaged. Honestly, I think it's good that a lot of business owners are micro-checking their client accounts because most specialists are so bad. I had a friend that I met in Bali, and she was like, she's a psychologist, and she was telling me that she wants to do Google Ads for a business. I'm like, sweet, let me just help you. I'm like, look, I'm too expensive. You won't be able to afford me, but I am your friend. I'll help you out. So I built out an ad account for perfect keywords, really simple, to the point, like the Michael Nadalin show. And then she's like, I've hired someone off Upwork or Fiverr to do it, and they didn't use my campaign. And then I just looked at it. It was just firstly, targeting the wrong countries. So, number one, that's awesome. Number two, all the keywords are in broad match. How good is that? And then number three, what was the third one?
She could have had a Google rep to do this all for free for her.
Oh, mate. It was and then settings were off. And I just recognized this guy has done, and it was on maximize conversions on a new account.
Yeah.
There's no data for it to maximize towards. And I just saw that. I'm like, I looked at it, and part of me goes, oh, maybe it will work. Because I'm like, oh, they're doing all these new things. But then I was like, no, Michael, come back to your 10 years of experience, mate. This is literally doing everything that you're against, especially for a new account. And then I recognized most people are like that. Most people are like that. You look at all this stuff online. I start to think now when I chat to people, I'm like, am I some old school, or am I lazy or something? Because all these new hot strategies they're doing, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just doing a very clear 80-20 approach to Google Ads with a lot of data analysis and a lot of talking to clients. But then I'm like, wait, take a step back, Michael, once again. Are you making clients a lot of money? Yes. Cool. Then that's the outcome. The outcome is not these new little things let's test broad match and not broad match. Let's test maximize conversion. I was do the things that you know works for you, for most of your clients most of the time, and see if it works. If it does, get on with your life. If it doesn't, do stage 2. But man, seeing a lot of these accounts now, just to go back to your point, sometimes I think it's actually good that business owners are on top of this because there are a lot of bad people out there. Just a lot of bad work.
Yeah, it just,
in my opinion, they're not bad people, but just bad work.
No. Yeah, it's not a personal reflection. It's just it's professional, right? So my thought on that is immediately, if I hire a portfolio manager for my investment portfolio and I feel the need to micromanage that person, I shouldn't be working with that person, right?
That's
so
it.
I need to find somebody better. Yeah.
Funny you say this because we had someone reach out to us. He reached out to me last year, and then I gave him the price, and I told him what to do, and he's like, he just went for someone cheaper, and then he comes back to me a year later. So this was probably about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago now, and he's like, Michael, we went with all these other people. The account's gone backwards, and this account's this business is probably making around $500,000 a month, so it's about a $5 million company, maybe $6 million company, and then. But the guy, I remember seeing it, the thing is, this was a year ago, and I still remember this guy's account because he was so fucking anal about it. Every keyword had its own campaigns and this, all this stuff.
Oh, God.
And it was just wild. And I told him, when I was first, I'm like, look, dude, the search part of this, which you're very, on top of, it's fine. It's the shopping, and the shopping's your biggest leverage, like the payment makes. And then he
Yeah.
goes, and I go, why didn't you work with me last time? He's like, oh, because you didn't go deep enough with the search side that I was interested in. I'm like, dude, no. And then he was like coming back. I was like, look, man, I said to him on the call, like on the first call, the second time, like 3 weeks ago, I'm like, look, man, I don't think we're right to work together. And he just like got super offended. And he's like, why? I'm like, because like, I just think you're just too involved. Like I can't work like that. Like he's like, no, man, I'd be hands off. If you need anything, I'll let you know. I'm like, I don't believe you. Like
Words and
that's the last.
actions.
So
Words and actions. Yeah.
yeah, it's like you've told me how you operate. You've told me how you work with your past suppliers, and now magically it's going to be different for me. Like, so I don't want that. The business I love working with is the business who it's like they're a legit business that haven't done much advertising before, and the business owner knows nothing, and they just let me make them money. I do not want to be having conversations about technical things. That's like the worst thing in my mind. The only time I want to have technical conversations is with my team discussing new strategies or fixing problems. I never want to have them with clients.
Hmm.
So that's why, like, when those people, yeah, just their clients who are like want to give all the micromanaging, I'm like, no, man, like that's hell for me now.
Yeah.
That's hell for me.
At the end of the day, you're a contractor or a business partner. You're not an employee, and that needs to
Yeah,
be respected in the relationship, I
yeah,
believe. Yeah. But it's hard
yeah.
for people to disconnect, those